a good question. Why do you still, yeah, why do you still do this after all the patience and punishment and abuse and the OCD and the craziness? Yes.
I just imagine the goal, you know? With that image, I'm like, wow, that's gonna be so cool. Let's do it, you know? And then 4 months into the thing's like, oh my goodness, it's big. This thing's big. And then you see it again, and you're like, oh, it's gonna be so cool. And you keep on going. It's just that image. It's as simple as one image, you know? And then put a poster up or put something up. You stop working on it. You go to bed. You wake up, and then you see it, and you're like, ah. Or you go like, it's big. It's just that image. To me, it's just that image. As simple as that.
Yeah, that goal is definitely something motivated. But outside of the actual work, for me, what inspires me is other forms of arts. Going to see theater, to see films, also concerts, whatever. And also, it's funny because now as an artist, I know more and more what goes behind, like the amount of work that goes behind all these performance or art forms or whatever. And for me, it's more like a challenge. I get inspired by that, and I get motivated and encouraged to do my own. Yeah, so whenever I'm desperate and, oh, what am I gonna do? My film is going nowhere. I think about all these inspiring things, and I'm like, okay, if they did it, I can do it too. And sometimes I go out for coffee also. That helps.
Yeah, the being in animation, one of the joys of being an animator or filmmaker is that probably everything you do has some kind of connection to animation. The food you eat, the going for riding to work, or cycling to work, or walking to work. There's always something that has some kind of connection, or you observe movement, or you hear sounds, you hear music. There are the other art forms, that kind of thing. There's an amazing payoff with celebration when you see animation. I mean, a lot of people would say it's akin to some kind of weird psychosexual, masochistic thing that there's it's to work for great lengths of time and then have a movement phrase that works is the feeling is great. It's perhaps a lot like birthing a child, right? When you go through all this pain of birthing a child, and then a mother does that, and the next thing she thinks of is having the next one, the next child. And I've been in situations where I've worked for days on end without sleep. When I shot film, you had to work. You couldn't turn the lights off because there was the risk of there being a flicker or a bulb blowing or something like that. So I remember once animating for it was probably about 18 or 19 hours straight. I even got a sunburn on my arm from the light, and took it to the lab and dropped it in the lab at midnight. And when I got it back and everything worked, that feeling was fantastic. It was I could still feel the kind of euphoria that I had then. So that I consider myself extremely fortunate to be in this a line of work. It's not been particularly lucrative. I still don't own a house and that kind of thing. But it's I don't think I would change.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think about that every day. I wake up and I don't dread what I have to do. I think there's a great power in that, thinking that every day I wake up, I don't like I gotta go to work. No, I get to wake up in my pajamas, sit there and animate for 10 hours, and sure it's tedious and it takes a lot of patience, and sometimes you get blocked and you don't know what to do, or sometimes you deal with crazy clients. But at the same time, it's like every day is your own, and you wake up and you get to draw, right? And you manage your own life. You are your own boss essentially, especially if you get to make short films and make a living from that. And that, again, the reward is these film festivals, right? The greatest recognition for sitting at home in a dark room for a year of your life is to get to go out in the public and showcase your work. And that reaction of being in an audience showcasing a short film with a group of people and having people laugh and ha and groan and and cry is something really magical, and that's something I think every filmmaker and every animator needs to do. So you need to travel with your film. You need to bask in the glory. You need to feel special again, after being locked away for a year. You need to see sun, right? So I think that is what's really great about these festivals and bringing panels like this together, is that I hope it's inspiring in some way that if you are working on a film or an animation, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And that light comes when you have this, like Martin said, the baby, right? And you send that baby off to these festivals and hope it does well, and it garners accolades and great acclaim, right? And I think that really is the reward that us as filmmakers and animators achieve, is just sitting through a screening, and then being in a crowd and knowing that your work is appreciated. And the good thing about media is it lives on forever, right? You put something on YouTube, it lives on forever. And it's seen by millions of people around the world, and I think that's in itself is something really special.